Hello, my name is Carrie Rivera, and I have some really good news to share with you today. Today, I am joined by a mother who now seems like a very good friend of mine because we've worked so long together, and her son has recovered on the CD protocol. And I'm not going to mention names, we're not mentioning places, but welcome and thank you for being willing to share your story about your son's recovery, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Carrie. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I remember when I first started reading your book, and I was reading through all of the testimonials of people who had healed their kids, and I remember just saying to myself, that is going to be us one of these days. One of these days, I'm going to be one of those testimonials that healed, one of these people that healed their kids, and here we are.
When you started the protocol with him?
So when we started the protocol, it would have been back in 2015. So he was 3.
It was
And at that point, we had gotten the autism diagnosis. His starting ATAC was 104. So he was not talking. He was, he'd have these tantrums, and we wouldn't know what would set him off and what would happen. And he wasn't responding to his name. He wasn't, and this was kind of after, 11 rounds of antibiotics, that completely, what I know now, like destroyed his gut because he had constant ear infections. And, that I think was triggered by food allergies. And then after he had the MMR, it's like the lights just went out. So he was in a regular school, a public school, but he had to have an aide with him, the whole time.
mm-hmm.
And I remember they invited us in for a like an observation, and he was still he couldn't sit down on the carpet. He wasn't kind of like, he wasn't at the point where his peers were. He would sit up and sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. Sometimes he'd talk out, and he wasn't there. And I remember, later that month they had an assembly with the rest of his grade, the rest of the kids in his class. And there are all the kids, singing and dancing and doing their thing. And there's my son off in the corner, kind of staring off into space. He was this beautiful, amazing boy, and the lights got turned off. And now with your protocol, like, we're slowly peeling back the layers. And, I'm slowly getting my son back, which has just been amazing. And so we did keto, which I think really helps, adding in a lot of fats, good fats, the MCT, the bone broth, avocado. And I think with Jack, the protocol process has been a little bit tricky too, just because he's also really texture sensitive, and he's really sensitive to like smells and things like that. So like I remember when we first were adding in like GABA in the DMG and I think things like that, it was hard to get him to take certain things because he didn't like the taste. So that's always been really challenging. But, we just kind of kept on it. And now we slowly are doing amazing. And so we just took his ATAC last night, and he's at a 6. He's at a 6 from 104. He's at a 6.
And no, just for the people that are watching, if they don't know, between 0 and 10 would be considered recovered. And I think any one of us taking the ATEC for ourselves, we would definitely get a few points anyhow. So somewhere between 0 and 10, most of us live our lives perfectly happily.
Right.
And I know you've been sharing some things about him. And of course, now he's doing some really cool, cute, normal, neurotypical things.
I mean,
Everything.
So they just had an assembly last month at his school. And so, I remember seeing him at that first assembly and just being heartbroken and watching him. And we just had his assembly for his school, and he was up there singing with the rest of the kids, doing the dancing. And there was one part where, all the kids are kind of lined up on stage. 5 kids step forward and they do a song and a dance in Swahili. And he was one of those kids that stepped forward and did, and he was just right on cue. He knew every line. He was smiling. He was so happy. Like, I was just in tears again, but this time because I was so happy because now he's living his best life. Like, that I got my son back. Like, he's so happy. Like, whereas before, I would go to wake him up in the morning and I don't know what I was walking into. I couldn't take him to the playground because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if he was just going to start screaming or, hit a kid. Like, he was so riddled with toxins.
Yeah.
And I knew, like, that wasn't my son. So just to have my son, I feel like I have my son back. I feel like this protocol was able to rescue him from this, abyss of toxicity that we find ourselves in. Don't give up. Just that it's really hard some days, and some days you kind of feel like giving up. But if I can do this, I know other parents can. And the light that happens at the end of the tunnel after you've healed your child is the best feeling because you have your life back and your child, can live their best life. I think these kids with autism are some of our most precious humans that we have on this earth because their minds see things differently. They see the world differently. And once you are able to peel back those layers of toxicity, you are left with an amazing human being. But you have to be able to peel back those layers. Otherwise, you have these behaviors that are, they're so difficult on an entire family, like on the parents. It's a struggle, like, with marriages, with, siblings, with everything, because you just never know what type of behavior is going to come up and how to control it. So just do the work and just know that, you have people behind you that are cheering for you, and that this protocol, I think, is just that path. It's just the way to find that light, to find that, your child, to find that person that is still in there, that has just been covered up by the toxins that are in our society these days.
I'm really excited for you, and it's been a pleasure working with you and your family, and I'm so grateful that you took the time just to share, even just the few minutes that we chatted. I think that some parent that's out there looking, well, if my videos can stay up long enough on the internet,
I know, hopefully.
that this message will get out. We'll put it on a lot of places so it won't get taken down anymore, because I think it's an important message that only a parent of a child who now has an ATEC score of a 6 and who went from nonverbal to a really high, I mean, his ATEC score 104 is a relatively high. Yeah, he was gone, and now he's completely indistinguishable from the other children in his class, and he's in a neurotypical class in a neurotypical school, just leading the. So I'm really grateful that you gave me your time today, and I think that this is going to be an important video for somebody out there, somebody who needs it. And of course, with the autism conferences in the springtime, which is now springtime 2019, more people are out there searching for information. And so, of course, Autism Recovery, they will be able to find this video. And I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And it's been a joy to work with you and your family. And you've done the hard work, like you said. And you're always a radiant smile and a really positive lady to have in my life. So thank you for that and sharing that path with me.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Just having my son back and having a happy child it was worth it all.
I'm so happy for you all. Congratulations, and thank you for giving me your time today.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate it.
to open the door. Hey, Suzanne! I've got a toothache. Help me. Suzanne! Humphreys! Hey, Suzanne Quacky! Open the door! Quack, quack, quack! Quack, quack, quack! Backstart! Oh, hello. Are we allowed in?
I don't mind to Stuart. Can you just
Who are
stand
you?
there? What?
What's your name?
I work in the venue. Can you
Why
just
are you
stand there?
hosting a film that hurts
Can you just
autistic
stand
children?
there, please?
No, I'm asking you a question. Look at these wankers. Look, they won't open the door. They won't open the door. This is Vax at the Tivoli Cinema. Shame on the Tivoli in Dublin, who is hosting an anti-vaccine movie. We're not going anywhere. No, we'll just stay here. The Tivoli is hosting quackery, an anti-vaccine cult. Hey, you old bats. It's Humphreys, look. Wait. There, the one with the grey hair. Come out! What's wrong, Suzanne? Are you afraid? Where's Polly? Oh, poor Suzanne. Where's Polly? Suzanne's afraid. Tell her to come out! Suzanne is afraid. Tell her to come out! Hey, we got an anti-vaxxer in the car! Look at them. They can't even come to the door. Look at them. They're all talking their We Are Vax, but they can't even talk to autistic people. Look at them. No, they can't. How many is there? 20? You have to skulk around. You can't even tell people where the movie is because it's so shit. Well done. Should be ashamed. You're not. She's not a doctor. She calls herself a doctor. You should be ashamed. That's not a doctor. Get out of Dublin, quacks. We don't want you here. We're civilised in Ireland. Go back to wherever you come from, Suzanne. Look at her laughing at me. Polly! Come on, Polly! Bring out Polly! They're not going to bring out Polly. Oh, poor Polly. We'll wait.
Polly is afraid.
Polly is afraid. Polly is afraid. Polly is afraid.